I have experienced the friendship breakup. It is very difficult because this is somebody that you used to talk to maybe on a daily basis, and then all of a sudden now you're not talking to this. I feel like it's just the same as a breakup, a normal breakup. And you are always talking to somebody over and over again, and then now you're no longer talking about any matter. Maybe you have something that is in your mind, and you're the first person that you think of is that person. You can't reach out to them.
I feel like it's even worse.
Yeah, true. Welcome back to the Balance It podcast. In this podcast, we have all conversations about wellness, purpose, personal development, and lifestyle.
And in today's episode, we're going to have a conversation about friendships. I know this is like maybe a common conversation, and you as a person, you have friends, right? Yeah, so we're just going to look at some of the aspects of friendships, and then go ahead with the challenges as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm your host. I'm Gertrude Nasike.
And I am Eda Onyoni. And as you can see me here, for those who are watching us on Spotify, I have a paper with me. Yes, so today as we'll be discussing about friendships, majorly we'll be focusing on our lessons that we have learned throughout our friendships. And first of all, we need to understand how we have evolved with our friendships over time. Maybe you can just tell us how has your friendship been from childhood to where you are right now?
I think I won't go into a deep detail of the journey. I will just maybe highlight some of the differences that I have noticed in childhood and adulthood friendships. I would say my childhood friendships were basically like you would get maybe angry. It's like they were kind of transactional. Maybe if you're my friend, as Eda, if I do something for you today, you need to do something if you do something for me tomorrow. If I brought you food today, Eda, food. Underline food. If I brought you food today, I expect that tomorrow you might bring me a snack as well. Or if you have a snack tomorrow and you don't give me, I will feel bad. So I think basically that's how I would categorize my childhood friendships. I think they were more of transactional. That's how I understood. But for adulthood friendships, it's different. They're not transactional to me, and I think it comes with maturity and just emotional intelligence as well, and understanding that people can actually be friends without necessarily just also offering the same thing that you've offered. And I think it's really, I would just mention it here, but I think it even makes me very stressed whenever I want to gift a friend. Maybe a friend got me shoes or a dress or a book, and I'm like, I really want to give them this, but I don't want it to seem like I'm returning just the favor, so it really stresses me whenever I want to gift a friend.
Yeah.
What about you?
I agree with you, but I would bring in the aspect of place because for me, my childhood friendship were because we are in the same area. We are friends because we either go to church together or we are in school together. So it was always about proximity. And then once I leave that specific area, once I leave that specific school, then I go to a different school, then I make new friends, and now I can't even remember these friends because right now I was actually talking to a friend of mine, and they were having a social gathering with their primary school friends. I was like, I can't even remember like my primary school friends. We could meet, the face might look familiar, or even I can't remember totally. And Yeah, so he was telling me that they're meeting. I was like, wow, that's really great. But for me, it was as long as we are in the same space,
Yeah,
you are my friend. It doesn't have to matter whether we are sitting together. As long as we are in the same class, you are my friend. But now I go to a different school. I now get new friends. But now growing up, it's been you make friends maybe from campus, and you are still friends until today because it was not a matter of proximity or a matter of place, but you created a bond and not just because of you are together in the same space.
Just allow me to just hijack your conversation. It brings the aspect of intentionality. I think for you now, adult friendships have come with intentionality, right?
Exactly, exactly. You put it rightly. Intentionality. Exactly.
Yeah, well, I think that is really powerful because that's what is needed right now. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So maybe we can also talk about the challenges that have that we have faced as we are evolving from now childhood friendships to now adulthood friendship.
I think the challenge would be basically for me, I would say staying connected. Because for me, I would say I've had my closest friends are literally my siblings and my cousins. Because growing up, yes, as we mentioned in one of the videos, like mostly I was in boarding school. So maybe the first school that I would go, you really had this bond, and let's say it was maybe an aspect of proximity as well. Having this bond with these people, maybe from the same church, your parents maybe work in the same place, so you bring up as kids. But now maybe your parents start getting transfers, or now you start shifting schools, it becomes different to keep making new friends. And so I think for me, I kind of just did not really bond so much afterwards, or I didn't want to be in that specific situation where like I'm bonding so much, and I think then yes, I would still refer to people as friends. Maybe we've met today, even you might be my classmates, and I would refer to you as friends, but
Are you really?
coming now here is when I realized, by the way, you might be a classmate but not a friend.
Yeah.
You might be maybe a roommate but not a friend. You might be a churchmate but not a friend. People would literally call you but by what you are.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Eda. She is my classmate. This is Eda. She is a lady we go to church with, and you're like, yo, we've been speaking. We've been speaking like for a long while with you, or we've even gone to gatherings together, but no, it still doesn't qualify you as friends.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing also I learned from it, like, and it helps me now define friendships. And I think that has been a challenge for me, now changing my mindset from just accepting, as long as we've said hi Eda, yeah, we've met today, we've eaten chapo today, and tomorrow we are friends. It took a while. That was a challenge, and I think I would say that now shifting my mindset from that previous kind of friendship to actually tagging people by their names. You're just not a friend because we live together, or you're not just a friend because we go to the same hiking events together. No, you're a friend because we are actually intentional, and there's a bond we've created with you.
Yes, I agree with you.
And that kind of filters so many people, and then you remain with maybe 1, 2, 3, or 4 friends that are now just very close.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I think it's better to have that, and they are actually solid friends, instead of having a very huge mass of people that you can't even call when you are in a problem, or when you need to just talk to somebody. Yeah, so one of the challenges that I've faced as well is yes, that one connecting, and also because we have moved to different areas of life, and we are definitely in different places.
Yeah.
People are doing different things in
Yeah.
whatever spheres that they are in. And right now you get that your friends who are you are within campus, maybe some have like the responsibilities have shifted.
Yeah.
Maybe you're now doing your master. This one has kids. This one has a family. So the responsibilities have shifted. And also the time zone is also a different
thing.
So and people are also busy.
Yeah.
People are working. People are now dealing with their own responsibilities, and just finding time. And just creating that time to now talk or have that video call, or it has been a challenge because you get that today, or maybe if we are in a clique of maybe 4 people, you get that today you are not available, tomorrow this one is not available, the other day. So it is having to be very intentional with now today we are meeting and it is this time from 7 to 8 p.m. and we have to do that and everyone has to show up. But before you get to that specific time that is between 7 and 8, time has gone, months have gone. But the good thing is that even if you meet, it's not like there is bad blood that you refuse to now talk to me, you refuse to be available. From a point of, I understand you are busy, we are all busy. Now let's begin catching up from where we left the last time. I think maybe 2 months ago. Where were we? This is where we are. Tell me, how have you been? But in between here, just trying to send in a message and to ensure that connection is still there.
And I think it just reminded me, I think a week ago, I saw one of my friends in Kenya. She posted like, adult friendships are like, hi, how are you? And then 40 days later, I am fine, and you still can connect. It's like it was yesterday, and nobody is actually angry. And I really love that about adult friendships. Like, we're not going to communicate for 2 months or 3 months. Yes, we may see each other's status, but just when I say hi and you respond after 2 days, and you talk, and then the next time you text, maybe I respond after 4 days. Not that I'm doing it intentionally, because immature friendships would be, I won't respond to your text intentionally just to make you feel like, hey, you also took me through this. Now it becomes transactional. But what I love now about these adult friendships, like, yes, you're genuinely busy. It totally slips your mind. I texted maybe in the morning, it's supposed to be sent to Eda, and then I go back to WhatsApp, or even I've been online the entire day. But now I remember now, why is Eda not responding to me? And then I go like, you didn't even send a message in the morning. But you left it texted. But when I send it, she's not going to be like, no, you did not send it, so I'm not going to respond. No, she'll actually look at it, and if in a position, she will respond immediately. That's something I love about these adult friendships. And just as you said, creating that specific time is a challenge. I've been looking at back in Kenya, just as it's here. I think for me also, as much as I say community, like, I really try and keep in touch with friends, or I'm that kind of person who likes organizing these teams or these communities. We might start with maybe just one event, and then I'll form maybe a group, or I'll coordinate. So back home, I was that person also in that group. And when I left, okay, they've been still trying to coordinate, and then yes, they meet up once in a while, just as we used to. But now you'll find, like, this past 1 month, I think people have been so busy, people with work, or some going for their kids' stuff, So they're like, we are meeting, guys, we're meeting like next week. Yes, we're meeting next week. I'll be there. 2 days to something came up. Can we reschedule it to next week? And then the other person is like, next week I want to be there. The other week another person is not there. So you find that getting to a point where you can be all, maybe the 6 of you, because for us we were like a clique of, I think, 6 people from now, friends from now campus, who now transited, and we still communicate and kind of be in a group. And you're like, wait, there's no specific time that we are going to be all of us. So what happens is, let a day where the majority are, let's meet on that day. Yes, it's not good. I would really want to be with all of us, but if we continue that way, we're not going to meet at all. So I think that's something also that I just wanted to add. I know I've said a lot of things, but I just wanted to add with examples of how it's actually a challenge.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that adult friendships, no bad blood.
No bad blood. No
You
bad
take me right now, my assumption would be like, maybe Ed is just too busy. Because I know for me also, I'm always in that situation. Like, I intend to really respond, or I intend to really type, but I can't. Or sometimes I see this message, I see Eda, and I just know if I open that conversation right now, I'm not going to come out from that. Like, it's a conversation that needs more time, that needs actual active listening or active participation in it, you know. So you can't just open and you feel like maybe I will open it at a time when I'm now in a position to really engage actively than just opening it and say hi, and then maybe that person really needs you at that time continuously.
Yeah. I agree with that. But how now for me, just not so that I don't feel guilty. I've just been trying to, like, I don't have to wait for this specific time when we'll have to meet the four of us. I just try to get in touch with. Now if it is you, get to that you okay and everything. We talk, and then maybe the next time I will talk to another friend that we are in the same group. Because meeting all of us is clearly a challenge. So I'm just trying to so that we don't also lose that connection. And I also love like social media. You can see people on Instagram. You can still respond to their status. You can still respond to their Instagram.
Yes, very true.
Like that keeps you in touch. That you also don't lose that connection that you've been having.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yes,
I wouldn't agree less.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And that's why we're friends. Agree.
No, I know if I don't even agree, like you will just understand. That's her opinion. Anyway, we move to the next. That's the good thing about adult friendship. Maturity comes in.
Yes. So the major part of this conversation today, we will be speaking about the lessons that we have learned.
Wow, I didn't even realize like we've just still been I saying we've not even started eating the cake.
Yes, here we are diving into the cake. So we'll be talking majorly about the lessons that we have learned over time in our friendships. And we just have like quite a number of them, then we'll just be having a conversation about it. So the first one that we have is that friends can be seasonal and they don't have to be best friends. So we all agree that you don't have to have a best friend in every place that you meet them or in every context that you are in. You can meet people, be friends, and when that season ends, they can leave. Everyone can be okay leaving. The problem is living in bad blood.
Oh yeah.
But as long as the season, and you don't actually, sometimes you don't even realize that the season for our friendship has ended. So you start wondering, am I still their friends? Were they still not reaching out to me? I was having a conversation with another lady, and she was like, how do people make friends? And because she was struggling with these seasonal friends, she's like, oh, why can't I get a solid friend and all the time I can reach out to them anytime, but why am I just having these seasonal friends? And my answer to her was, just keep at it. If you continue have those seasonal friends, sometimes you will meet one person and they will be like, okay, our interests are aligned, and you might call them best friends. But you also don't have to have a best friend. You also don't need to have one person that you can always go to with all your problems. So, and you're not abnormal for not having a best friend. So I feel like friends can be seasonal,
Yeah.
and it is okay for a season to end. And when that season ends, the earlier you realize that the season has ended, and you leave that friendship to not sink, to just for nature to take its course, the better for you, because otherwise some resentment may come in.
I think I wouldn't agree less. For me, first of all, I don't have a best friend. Please, if you thought you are my best friend, don't beat me up.
I am my own best friend.
You are your own best friend. The reason as to why is that for me, yes, I have friends who like that close circle. I can't say that just maybe Eda is my best friend or my sister is my best friend. No, it will even bring resentment among these friends that are in my circle, But I know I have friends who I can go to when it comes to other things, like specific things. Maybe I know for Eda I can talk to her about this and this and this. Maybe my sister she can handle this from me, Or maybe there's I wouldn't mention names. Maybe the ones in Kenya, or just different. You have different friends, or maybe you can even have a mentor who is actually your friend, and maybe it's a professional mentor. You literally go to him or her for professional advice or career advice, but they're still your close friends or friends within your circle. So yeah. So, and I also believe like the seasons. Sometimes, just in a conversation that one of our guests spoke about, Esther, she said we need to really understand that sometimes that season has come to an end. Sometimes you're not meant to be with the other person as friends, and then also not just meant for you. It's not like any of you is bad.
Yeah.
All of you are good in your individual selves, but you're just not compatible, So understanding that sometimes these were just destiny helpers to help you move closer to your destiny, but not to take you directly to where, like, you don't have to carry each other to the last point of your destiny. It's really relieving when you understand that. And that point where you say that letting it go, or letting the friendship just nature take its course is really important, because it gives more time for newer friends or people who are meant for you in that specific season, because we have different seasons in life. From childhood all the way to right now, you have gone through so many seasons, and be rest assured, your childhood friends would not be, don't have let me use this word, I learned. There's this, she's a doctor, she said, maybe this person or this friend doesn't have the capacity for you at that time, So this childhood friend is not equipped to capacitate you in your adult life right now. They were very well equipped to give you capacity as a child then, but not right now. And right now, that's why you have maybe different friends who are also adults, or who are professionals, or who are very good in other aspects of life, who have the capacity for you. Even in spiritual matters, maybe you will talk to, maybe for instance, a priest, or for instance, your pastor or your spiritual mentor. This person has this spiritual capacity to nurture you in that way. You won't go to Sidri, I don't know your friend, or I don't know your mom or your dad. Well, if your mom or your dad have those spiritual capacity, then it is well. But if not, you will not go to these people who maybe are not fully equipped to nurture you in that spiritual realm or in that physical realm. No, you're going to your, let me use my sibling. Yeah, my siblings are very fit. We will fight afterwards, but yeah, let me use them so that, like, you're going maybe to, I'm going to maybe my sister or my brother for physical fitness help. and maybe they don't have the capacity to nurture me in that specific arena. Do you understand? Yes. So just understanding that not everyone has the capacity for you, and when the season is gone, then it means their capacity for you at that moment is also depleted. You will get someone who has now capacity to carry you in the next level.
Yeah, exactly. You'll take us to the next one?
Yeah, I'll take you to the next one. So, is it okay that for friends we fall off sometimes, or we become less close as time goes by?
I think it's okay.
Mm.
So because we can be best friends. I can just use the words best friends, but in quote, for that specific season.
Yeah.
And then after that, maybe something happens, and I've recently come to terms with the word that there is friendship breakups. Initially, I actually didn't know something like that, but yes, maybe the friendship breakup happens, and it is all a mutual agreement, and now you are no longer as close as you were before. So, in my opinion, yes, it is okay for you to be friends but not as close as before. I have experienced the friendship breakup. It is very difficult because this is somebody that you used to talk to maybe on a daily basis, and then all of a sudden now you're not talking to this. I feel like it's just the same as a breakup, a normal breakup. You are always talking to somebody over and over again, and then now you're no longer talking about any matter. Maybe you have something that is in your mind, and the first person that you think of is that person. You can't reach out to them.
I feel like it's even worse.
Yeah, true.
It's even worse.
Yeah. So I feel like it's possible and it can happen.
I would say maybe I would answer it as yes or no. I would say it's okay when actually it's a mutual understanding, and you guys are not building resentment. Do you understand? Yeah, like you guys, it's like you're just falling off or you're just drifting apart. But yes, there's something that has happened. Maybe this was not expected from both of you, or you've communicated to each other like, I didn't like this, or maybe this cannot go just beyond this, But this naturally, friendships die, you lose contact, you lose communication, but you do not carry resentment to each other. But however, I would say it is not good, on the other hand, when the friendship breakup is actually caused from, it's like implied drifting, or you don't want to talk, you don't want to communicate, but it's like you're just implying. For me, I normally have a problem with, it's like you're not sure. It's like you're there, you're not there.
Yeah.
No, I like you communicating. Like, I feel like maybe we can just say, I can just love you from afar. I can just say hi from afar, which is a good thing because it's also brings the aspect that you actually respect me as your friend. You respect me enough to tell me that I'm not okay with this friendship, or I'm not okay with how things are going. And I think taking a step back is actually a good point to do right now. And I think that's why I would say I wouldn't be okay with friendship breakups that come as a result of implication, or just you start seeing an attitude, someone showing you an attitude, and you're like, why can't you just talk? Is there something I did wrong, or is there something you're facing? But you're not being left with so much mental thoughts. You're like, no, what happened? One day we are good, and the other day we are probably not cool. Yeah. So I would look at it in that aspect, but it's totally okay. It's okay when friendships really come to an end, but you shouldn't have bad blood. It should be in good faith.
Yeah.
To the point that, yes, we're no longer friends, but I know if I have an opportunity, I can just literally still forward it to you. Or if I'm not feeling so well, I can just call or to check on you, even if it's after a year.
Yes.
I can check on you and you're like, hey, how are you? You okay? Yeah, well, I just was checking up on you. Just that. You see? Yeah. Not that we no longer talk, I block you, you are no longer in my space. No.
And I think the other part of adult friendship is now being okay with that state.
Yeah.
Which is not easy.
Hard. Yeah.
Now, that is now the other side of adult friendships. Now you just have to be okay. Like, it has happened that way, you also have to talk to yourself. Now, that is where the emotional intelligence comes in. Yeah, you have to talk to yourself, do self-regulation, and just tell yourself it is okay that it happened that way, and just let that sink in. Yes. So the third one is good friendship starts with you. Sometimes you are the toxic one.
100%. 100%. Honestly, sometimes we actually the bad friends. You see the fake and toxic friends. Sometimes you actually the toxic one. You know, you're actually you're actually the bad friend. You're actually maybe the jealous friend. You're actually maybe the friend who wants people to be there for them, but you're not showing up for others. So I feel like good friendship starts with you. There's a concept that I normally like to live my life with, or my relationships also with, like being a good friend or being a good sister or being a good daughter starts with you being a good person. You being a good person, or it's the same thing as you being maybe a happy sister, a happy girlfriend, a happy wife, a happy daughter, a happy friend, starts with you being a happy person as an individual.
Yeah.
So if you're not on the basic of this, like as a person, as an individual, then even if you're getting that title as a friend, you're not going to extend the same grace to the other person. So I feel like I totally agree. For good friendships, be a good friend to yourself, or just have a good relationship with yourself first. You'll be able to extend the goodness or the empathy or showing up for others or loving others from that innermost self, and now it extends to now being a good friend. And being a toxic friend is actually true. Sometimes maybe you do it intentionally, sometimes you do it unintentionally, but it's because maybe you're not self-aware, or maybe I have some bad characters. Maybe I like shouting at people, or I'm very judgmental, and you forget to have the boundary and extend it to every other person, to even your friend, and not realize that this friend of yours is actually human as well. And you deeply know that you have these characters, and you deeply know that there's room for change or there's room for improvement, but probably you just don't want to change. You just want to be rigid, like this is how I am, this is who I am, which is a bad thing, because now you're going to be toxic. The other person can entertain you for a while, but they also have their limits, they also have their struggles, they also have their sides of the story. So if you're not also trying to be empathetic and extend the same grace to them and try and understand, how would I want to be treated as a friend? How would I want my friend to relate to me, or how would I want Edda as my friend to react to a celebration or a good message? If I tell her, Edda, by the way, maybe I'm launching this thing, how would I want if I was in her place to react? Yes. So trying to understand and being empathetic to try and understand the other side would really help you know whether you're the toxic friend or not.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I would just add one thing as well, is that the thing in this whole friendship narrative, you are the constant person there. So there is no way that we are in a group of maybe 5 people or you guys 6 people and get to this complaining about me. Somebody else is complaining about me. Roxanne is complaining about me. Christine is complaining about me. Then I'm always on the defense side that no, I did this because of this. I did this because of this. That is something that needs to give you a trigger that you need to work on yourself. If you actually want to be authentic with yourself and move or like grow as an individual. So you are the only character, you're the same character in all these kind of friendships. So if everything around you is against you, then I think you need to go in depth and now ask yourself, or also sit down with Gertrude, is there something wrong that I am doing that I am not aware of, and how would you want me to do it? And I understand these are hard conversations that you need to, but slowly you actually, once you initiate that conversation, you realize that actually Gertrude is comfortable having that conversation, and she might even say it in a good way that might even help you. So, but they are hard conversations, but I would want to maybe tell people that if somebody comes to you with such hard conversations, using emotional intelligence, you know that this is a hard topic, even if it is hard for you as an individual. They have come to you, they have trusted you. So also try to not make the conversation a bit hard or awkward, and try to just be okay, affirming the other person that yes, I understand. Okay, not saying that I understand it's a difficult conversation, but just affirming the other person and trying to get into their shoe and just be empathetic enough and guide them or just advise them from a point of, I love you, we are friends, and I would want you to be better.
Yeah, don't use it now to as evidence. I said it and I knew it. I knew it. No, don't use it as evidence, because now it also means now you also lack emotional intelligence, and you're not self-aware. So don't use it. And I think, just to add on something, I think I just keep getting prompts on the same thing. You find that when you're emotionally aware or you're self-aware, even in that context, you would realize things like revenge or things like the other person. You see, like maybe now I come to you and I'm telling you maybe this is the situation I'm in, and it's a hard conversation, and from your end, in your mind, it's like, at least she has seen, or no, it's like it's bringing you satisfaction. Someone's pain bringing you satisfaction. When you're self-aware, like such things won't bring you satisfaction. It will be like, okay, there's evidence and confirmation, but what does it add? What does it add? Like, what difference does it make? Is it making me happy? Is it even sustainable? You know, So it really helps also. Don't use it against the other person as well. Yeah, so, and then another one is friendships. Adult friendships need intentionality.
100%. We have talked about that. We have talked about being intentional. Otherwise, then the friendship will just be diluted with the busyness of life, the rashness of life. So it's the same way you're being intentional about your romantic relationship. It is the same way you need to be intentional with your friendships.
Even your professional life and your school, the way you're intentional to set time, it's the same thing.
Yes, because now we are social beings, and you won't just have your classmates, you won't just have your churchmates, you won't just have your your romantic partner in whatever that you're doing. You also need these like close people who can stand with you even in difficult times, and you can always run to in case you need advice or anything about life. And there is this somebody who was saying it's not just you who will be in your in your wedding motor arcade. You need your friends to be in your. You need a whole convoy to be in your wedding. So you need to build these friendships so that when that time comes, you are ready. You already have a convoy.
Very true. Wow, that's very nice. And the next one.
Yes. So it says your colleagues are only colleagues and not your friends. That can be a myth. That can be. It can. Everyone can have their own perspective about that. But let's hear your perspective.
I think it's 50-50. There are colleagues who can actually turn out to be friends, and this is you just realize from how you interact with them and probably how you guys bond or if you guys have shared interests. But there are colleagues who are
just colleagues.
Like, please don't allow them to get to the other side of friendship. And you would also just realize, maybe also from the way you interact them, maybe you guys are not at par. And I feel like, yes, as colleagues or as people in a team, I would say the ones who mostly turn into friends are maybe those people who mostly you're working within a team. So you can imagine if you guys are working in a team and you keep traveling to specific places with these specific people, be rest assured in these new places you don't have new people you're interacting with. They're just these people, and I feel like our minds are more drawn to familiarity than to strange or new experiences. So you would find that you will be more drawn to connect in depthly with these people who you're working closely together with, as compared to just a colleague that you meet once in a while or you guys don't work in close communication with. But I would also say we should really be very careful when allowing also our colleagues or our co-workers into our personal space. Take your time. Take your time. Because for me, I realize you see the way you're maybe in a corporate space or you're working with people and then you feel like you guys are connecting, you're actually friends. But the way being just in good terms doesn't mean you're friends. I would say right now I'm not maybe in that particular environment, but I'm totally in good terms with every of those all those colleagues. But be rest assured, then I can't even remember. You might find maybe it's 3 years and I've never talked to some of them at all. But there are people who we would meet in the morning or we sit like this and we keep talking, like stories are there or conversations are there, and you would feel like, these are actually friends. Until you left and you realize whether they were just colleagues, they were not friends. It's not like we are in bad terms. It's not like we are not okay. We are totally okay. We're in good terms, but we just can't have conversations beyond the workplace. So it is very, very important for us to assess. Sometimes you may just be very social or interacting well with people, but it doesn't mean that they're actually your friends.
And it might be because of the proximity, because we are just in the same environment. So I do not have another option because you're the only person I can go to lunch with, or you're the only person who is seated next to me, so I can just also let's just have a conversation about something. Yes, I agree, and also say that it's partially true and partially not true, because I have had friends, I have made friends from colleagues. It started as colleagues, but over time, because you realize you have like shared interests, it now goes beyond office. And now once I left that place, you still realize that you are still in communication, and even the conversations that you are having, they're still flowing despite not being in the same environment. And I think that is how you could measure how whether these are really colleagues or they are really friends, or they were just friends. Because now, what about after the office? What about on Saturdays, on weekends? We are not together. Are we even talking? Or let's just meet on Monday after Friday evening. Let's just meet on Monday. So the next one is boundaries and respect are mandatory in friendships.
Very true. I totally agree. Especially in adult friendships, we need to know that we have different lives. We might also even be friends, and maybe we don't share the same interests. Maybe you like driving all over the country. I like just staying in the house, but it doesn't mean we're not friends. Maybe we are friends and we just don't have specific interests. But now I can't like force you to like, and I need to stay in the house for you to be my friend. No, that those boundaries, and just me respecting that this is your preference and these are your tastes at this point, and just understanding that allowing you to thrive in whatever you love doing is very important, even for my friendship. Before, because if I don't allow you to thrive and just support you in whatever you're doing, it means that if I force you to not do whatever I'm doing, it means that there's going to be some resentment being built, and it removes the authenticity in friendship or even the trust in this friendship, because you're like, you'll be doing whatever this person is doing, but you're doing it
For them.
not happy, So allowing our friends to thrive in their different preferences or in whatever they like doing is very good, and this is a major aspect of you being respectful to them. And when it comes to boundaries, it is inevitable. Just as for me, I know there's some things I can't even say to you. Like, I know there are jokes I can make bad jokes to you, but I know there's a boundary, or there's a limit. There are things I can't joke about with you. It can come out as a joke, but you're like, no. And these are things you've communicated maybe earlier, and we just know that you can't go. And I'm so sure also for you, there's a way you can't talk to me, and I've communicated earlier. And these boundaries are very important, because if we don't have these boundaries, you will keep doing the same thing, or I'll keep making these bad jokes, and I feel like, and I just laughing, or but I don't know, deep within you're also hurting, or deep within it doesn't sit well with you. So having these boundaries, and we from all these different sides understanding that we need to respect these boundaries is very, very important for the friendship to also thrive.
Yeah, I agree. And actually communicating those boundaries,
True.
and knowing how to communicate those boundaries is very important.
Yeah. So when another thing is empathy in friendship, and I think this has been covered in all the others. I don't know if we should cover it more.
Just reminding us that let's continue being empathetic in our friendships. And empathy is putting yourself in the other person's shoe.
Yes. Yeah. And lastly, concept of, can friends really be in business together?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, I believe yes, but putting together all these things that we have talked about, boundaries, respect, being patient with each other. The same way I can be in business with somebody that I honestly don't know, and it's the same way I can be business with this person, as long as all these things are in check. And as long as that the other person does now not start feeling entitled, that because now you are my friend, there is nothing you can do to me. As long as there is that maturity, then I believe it can happen. We have seen businesses that have broken because of that thing arising whereby you're like, okay, she's just my friend, or he's just my friend, so there is nothing he can do. Or I know he normally does his things this way, so I can take advantage of the position that he or she in. And now the trust is broken, the business is broken, something that you built so strongly and were passionate about now goes under because of small issues. And it is actually because of like very small matters, maybe mistrust, or maybe not communicating properly, or now maybe you hold so much into yourself, and now not saying that I don't like, or now not creating those boundaries, and it erupts. It gets to a point where it erupts, and now you can't hold it so much. So once you erupt, now the business is at jeopardy, and now you can't continue doing the business together because of these small issues. And we have also seen friendship business go under because of finances, which is a very huge topic. So you feel like with proper communication, boundaries, respect, trust, which is also a big thing, knowing that I can let you do your thing and you can trust me to do my thing, and it's still aligned to the vision that we are headed. I feel like friends can be in business.
Yeah, I also believe, yes, they can be in business, and also they might not be in business if they do not meet whatever you said. But I would say why they can be in business, just you said it perfectly, just to top on it all. Having the common goal, having a common goal and having shared interests.
Yes.
That is very, very important, because sometimes you might actually be with friends in business for a long time, and then you feel like probably you're it's like you're the one who is pushing the vision. You're the one who is pushing the vision, and you're like, why am I feeling this way? So if you guys have the same vision, and like you just feel like things move to the right direction, and it really brings understanding that if you're friends, when it comes to business, it is business. Let's just all do our part, But when it comes to a time that we are now friends, it is also friendship. Because with all this respect and boundaries, it makes both of us feel like we are, I wouldn't say capable, but we are worthy of whatever we are doing. I would feel like Eden respects me, respects my time, respects my ideas, or respects my struggles as well. And you would also feel the same way from me. But if you guys don't have a common interest, it might be a different thing. Because the why or the purpose for a business is what drives you guys to keep moving.
Yes.
But if the why is only strong to Eda, but is not strong to me, I can literally sleep and don't see the need as to why Eda is telling me, but then get should we need to have this money by Eda. We will give the money. We will give the money. I wouldn't understand why Eda is telling me we need to have this money by next week. Because maybe the why is not so strong to me.
Yes.
But if the why is so strong to you people, you'll be like, yeah, maybe I can't have the money by next week, but probably I'm just working on a plan because maybe right now this and this and this is happening.
And
communicating with them is very, very important, because we're also not mind readers. Yes.
Yeah. And something else that I thought about the same thing is that yes, you are in business with friends, with a shared common goal, but sometimes life happens. What will keep you going, even as one person, knowing that this maybe my partner is going through something that he or she can't be there in the business fully, is your why. So understanding your why, just as you said, is very important. And also getting into businesses that you are sure that in case something goes wrong, you can still continue with that same thing that you are doing, even by your own self, such that in case there is just some misalignment that happens somewhere and both of you mutually agree, you are still in your brand. You are not now maybe Eda, who was doing Balanced podcast, now Eda cannot do any other podcast because this one has gone under, or maybe the brand reputation has been so much has so much been tampered, such that now you can't do something else. So getting into businesses that are also aligned with your why or your purpose or what you are actually true to by yourself.
Wow, that's really well put. And that's it for this podcast. It's really been an honor to have you guys around.
Until this time, and definitely don't forget to subscribe,
Mhm.
comment down below. We would
Yeah.
like to hear how your friends have evolved. Is it the same? Do you guys still have the childhood friendships?
Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah. We would like to know how your friendships have evolved
Yeah.
over time and challenges and some of the learnings that you have learned, because we also want to learn from you. Definitely reach out to our Instagram, our TikTok, and we also have Threads account. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on all those social media channels. And until
Until next time.
bye.
Bye.